Cái bên kia là giờ là phần bát không?
Hello! Is anybody here for growth hacking? Right here? Anybody who wants to go to the growth hacking workshop? No, you're all here for business development, right? Business development here, growth hacking over there. All right, everybody, welcome. Let's start. Is anybody here for the first time today? Anybody who has not heard the introduction about the shortcut before, please raise your hand. Anybody? Yeah, a couple. Okay, welcome. So this is the School of Startup. We're a 3-week program of workshops around 3 different topics: business, technology, and design. This is the business week. Next week will be design and then tech. So if you haven't seen those other 2 tracks, please check out online and sign up for workshops through the Eventbrite page. All right, we're here at the Shortcut Lab. We're a community and training space, open for everybody from 10 to 6 every weekday. And is anybody not okay with having pictures taken of him or her? Please raise your hand. All right, perfect. So we'll get started, and in the end, I will ask you again to fill out a feedback form. And yeah, now let's enjoy the presentation.
Okay, let's go. So, now we're talking about business development.
There are new ones, probably.
Yeah, there are.
All right. Also Spanish?
Yeah.
All right. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hasta luego, Lucas.
So, let's get started. Me, myself, like we told previously, my background is from marketing and design, and I'd say that my thing is kind of to grind. So basically, take the piece of meat and chew it up until there's nothing left than the bone, and probably after that I will eat the bone. That meaning that I want to find kind of things that I'm interested in and that excite me, and kind of go deep and find a business, find an added value to the end customer or the business who's paying the bills, and that's kind of what I want to do. I want to find new things and really dig deep in those.
Animal or a human?
Well, let's not go in that deep. We need to be politically correct here, so let's not go into all details.
Okay, sorry. Is there anything like me? No, probably not.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, so my background is from working with these big evil investment banks for 6 years. Originally from Stockholm, Sweden. Graduated from Stockholm School of Economics, majoring in finance in 2006. So been amazingly out in the working life for 11 years, and 6 of them have been in startup life together with Alexi. So before that, I was basically just walking around in a suit, pretending to be important and reporting to London, and these guys sitting there. There was a switch in room. So
Okay.
Bacteria.
And yeah, we actually worked, when we met the first time, I was working in an advertising agency and Tommy was working at our clients. And we worked for 5 or 6 years or something like this before the first time I saw him without the suit and saw the tattoos, and then was, what the fuck, who is this guy? No, I'm playing like in a metal band.
The halftime when the cameras are supposed to be in the screen is getting closer. So we are starting to download, the videos from the people, and we're going up to this control room and we're putting it in, and the files are compromised. They're like, oh my god! And it's 10 minutes left until halftime, and we're like, shit, we need to do it again. Call our developer, like, please develop this, do this different compression of the file. and then it's halftime. It's still we don't have it. He calls us. We download it, put it in. Bing, bing, bing. Like oh, but we did it.
Yeah, finally it worked. But that's kind of research and development that was happening in 24 hours. So it doesn't need to mean that you have 10 engineers and some scientific people in a room doing the work for a year. You need to react. You are a startup. You need to react on the needs that present themselves. And there will be, like I talked about, that there will be walls that you need to go through. And the way that you need to figure out how to go through this wall this time. I didn't see this coming, but there it is. So
yeah. So the R&D is more sexy in a way than it sounds, and it can occur for everything. And it's gonna happen when you least expect it. When you're gonna do something, it's going to happen, and you need to develop it. And that's part of being a startup. As a startup, you can do these things in 24 hours if you have a good team. You can develop it. You can call, hey, do it. It's gonna happen. If you work for a big company, it's not gonna happen. We need to set up a process. And this is why startups are kicking ass for big companies, because everybody talking about lean startups and fast startups. That's what it's about. If that would have happened to Microsoft when they were standing in that stadium, that wouldn't still be running, you know. But as a startup, you can do things fast.
but branding, like this year has been up and running like 3 years. And, like, when was it, like 2 weeks ago? Before that, we were Sportacam. Now we are Cameo. Sportacam was the social media for social. So basically, they watch it.
But it hasn't been like that always. That's the funny thing. So even ideas that seem like, well, that actually is not a big thing, can be enormous. Like if somebody has pitched to someone at some point in time, the remote control. Imagine that. Like, hey, this is this dick you can trap, you know. And then somebody bought it.
So again, we'll have some videos. Live demo would be better, but
Start. Here is
now
our
we're
demo
hearing
of
Tommy
camera
here.
technology for El Clasico. So I'm watching it on my iPad, and here is the Canon button. It allows me to start video commenting with my friends wherever they are. This is how it works. I pull it up, and I can send them link by invitation, by Messenger, mail, WhatsApp, AirDrop. I'm gonna send it with Messenger to my amigo Alexi. Alexi?
I will get the invitation. I click the link. It takes me to the Movistar application. Ask if I want to join Tommy's conversation, and I do. Ah, there.
I get, do you want to accept Alexi in your group? See. And now we can start video, comment, chatting on top of the screen. Let's see when Alexi starts.
Visca Barça!
And for me, Alexi's comment will appear here. And I can send it back. Hola Madrid. And there it is. And when Alex is watching,
It appears here.
so in this way, the Movistar TV users can chat with each other while watching El Clasico and have fun with easy camera technology. That was a presentation made for one of the biggest medias in Spain, Movistar TV.
So, that was one thing. So, what we're doing, just really simple things that people are already doing, but we are doing it just like a little bit better, like with the technology that we have in place at this moment of time. Then there's a little bit more. Like, let's not stick only to sports. Sportacam was only about sports, but of course this technology can be applied to everything. Let's say, well, Tommy will.
Hello, this is a demo of our latest music bot for Canon that can be easily implemented to your shows with music. See the Leganes engaged audience that analyze their singing skills and give them scores based on what show we're watching. So I'm watching the Eurovision, which is Blanche performing City Lights, and now I'm gonna sing a bit. all alone in the earth. I pull it up to the Eurovision box. We analyze compared to the original song and give you a score based on that. Customized for Eurovision. Finland, 12 points. I'm not that bad as I think, obviously.
So basically, again, the same thing. You are doing something. You are engaging with your friends, but now you can compete with your friends on seeing. They will see your points, you will see their points, and for example, we can sell this song. What is happening?
It's autoplay. Most annoying feature.
So basically, you can buy the song you just sung from there, one click. So again, it's added value, and there's in relation with some a business that really makes sense in this context. So this is for the end user, the added value for the end user. What's in it for me as the broadcaster? Well, the thing is that, again, the problem for the broadcaster is that when the users are using second screen, the eyes are going from the broadcaster's content to the second screen, to WhatsApp or whatever, and they don't like it. Their advertisers don't like it. You don't see what their advertisers want you to see. That's a big problem. Okay, well, what do? We analyze. So basically, we gather data from the people. So, okay, you have glasses. We know that because you are communicating with your friends through video. We analyze your facial structure. We know your emotions. You are happy watching this show. We know that because you're laughing and you're talking this with your friends. You are interested in Ronaldo, or you're interested in traveling or beer or whatever, because you just said that I want to go for a beer. Okay, we analyze that and use that in advantage for the broadcaster. For example, here, yeah, let's have Tommy again on the stage.
Sorry. All right, we'll show you the latest camera technology for bots, which enables you to monetize when you're watching, for example, football or live streaming, like in this case, watching the Champions League finals, the Juventus Real Madrid. And camera technology bot is here, and let's see what happens. We know Ronaldo will score. Boom. And now I'm interested in knowing Ronaldo's statistics. So I pull up the camera. What are the statistics by Cristiano Ronaldo? So I pull it up to the bot, like that, and it fetches the information from our systems, and it also provides me a betting option, so I can bet on Ronaldo's scoring the next goal. So this is one way to bring in some artificial intelligence, speech recognition, and monetization to your platforms.
So again, what we do for the broadcaster.
Without playing first.
Don't play. How do I stop? Okay. So again, we give added value to the broadcaster. Here, you can monetize, for example, by betting, and give that option to the users when it really makes sense. You just asked about Ronaldo statistics. Maybe you want to bet, will Ronaldo make another goal in this game? Click here, yes, no. And again, business for us is taking a slice of every transaction that goes through our system. So, there's a little bit more. No more videos. Anyway, the point being that we give added value to the end customer, and we give added value to the broadcaster who pays.
But before you play that video, maybe what we were trying to tell here is basically that we have the base layer of the product is basically the video communication. That's it. That's what we do. But all these things, I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story of how we actually ended up doing these things, because it has to do with the R&D. Watch out for the dogs. So we started off with purely sending video comments to each other. That's the only thing we did. Then we went to Singapore, we went to Spain, went to Finnish medias, we went to all these medias. This was like half a year ago. And we said, look, people can communicate on top of the stream. And all the medias were basically like, okay, well, it's nice, but what's in it for me? And we were like, what the fuck, isn't this enough? This is really cool. But they were like, no, we need to be able to make money on this. So we were like, okay, shit, we need to, once again, R&D, we need to create something that actually makes sense for not only us, but also for them. So what happened was that we made the statistics bot that you saw with Ronaldo. Then we made a Eurovision bot in order to be able to show it to outside of sports, to music competitions. And we built all these sort of things because the customers were basically saying that if you don't provide us with these things, we're not going to buy your product.
Yeah. They are not saying these things, they're saying monetization. It was all about monetization, how to monetize. Then we again went to our research chamber.
White suits and glasses and
well, like, okay, what the fuck? Then we threw out ideas and come up with something that made sense for us. Then we tested it. We made a video, sent it to the broadcasters, and then they were saying, okay, let's do it. Yeah. This makes sense.
So basically, before you play this, like this video is not that old. So what we do is that we go somewhere, we meet with their team, and we say, okay, this is what we have, and then they tell us like, okay, maybe we should have this, and then we're like, okay. Then we go back home, and then we say, let's tell them we have it. Then we create a video demo.
Again, MVP. We talked about.
We like, let's record a video and send to them, and then we fake all this stuff. Then we send the video. Look, we have this technology. And then they're like, oh, really? We want this. Good. Let's develop it.
Yeah.
So
basically, that's not the whole story. Basically, this is how it goes. But what we do, of course, is that we find a ways to do this. So we have partners, we have coders, we have everybody. So we can do this. And we try it out in small scale. Okay, it's doable. It's possible. Now, when we know it's possible, let's fake it and let's see if somebody buys it. If somebody buys it, then it's really easy investment to invest money and time to really do that. And that's why we're doing, like, we are finding the pain points and then we are filling them with something.
Hi. So in this demo, we'll show you how the Camment programmatic ad platform works together with your internal or external ad networks such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, or whatever you're using. And we serve the ads to the viewers very smoothly as a part of a Camment experience. So, me and Alex are watching the Champions League finals on the screen, and Alexi is making a Camment tweet.
Hey guys, where's the goals?
And I'm going to reply to him saying that, well, Alex, don't worry, Ronaldo is going to score a goal. We run that analytics, and we serve an ad based on the preferences we have, which you don't have to open, which is probably in disguise among the comments. But now when Ronaldo scores, Alex gets crazy and opens the ad, which is a Ronaldo ad for his clothing. Well, Alexi, I think you should click that. Takes you to the store, you get a discount, or whatever campaign is ongoing in your ad networks. It's served in the best possible moment, based on preferences, to your audience, through Camment technology.
So again, we found...
play.
Damn. Let's go away, that helps. So basically, again, we took something that is existing, these massive ad networks. Then we're taking the data that we are gathering from people's speech and facial emotions recognition, through facial recognition and so on. And then we are combining these two. Okay, this guy was talking about this. Let's give him an ad from existing network that we can serve really targeted like this. So really nothing, this exists. So we are just like creativity. When people talk about creativity, they actually many times don't know what it is, what it means. Basically it means that you take something that already exists and then you put these things together and create something new. So for example, somebody's painting. Well, there's a blank canvas, that's not a new invention. There's a pen or whatever you want to paint, or paintbrush. Then you paint. That's creativity. You are putting things together in a new way. And that's the simple thing. You just find the things you want to connect, and then you connect. And that's when you're doing business development, for example. Okay, then you need to know, okay, to whom am I providing this thing, what I'm providing? And in our case, it's pretty simple. People who are using digital services to consume video, that's kind of thing. Of course, then we go deeper to certain things. People react differently in different cultures. They talk about different things in different cultures, and just like the way they use technology or what kind of speed of internet is in that country and so on is kind of a thing. But you need to be able to really kind of know what you are providing and to whom you are providing, and okay, what's the added value there?
Yeah, and you need, and coming back to that, I mean, what you need to do is quickly understand if it's working or not. So I'm gonna go back and tell a bit of the Spanish story, and what happened there was basically that this thing we did in Malaga with the video screens, we then did in Almeria, which was a city very close. Then we did it with Estudiantes, which is a basketball team in Madrid, and we started doing it with a lot of teams around Spain. And we were like, okay, this is a way for us to get a lot of downloads to our app. Because when you were watching a game in Madrid with Estudiantes, the video marcador, the video screen, had like the video comments, send video comments and stuff. So we thought that people were going to download the app and start using it. And so it was running all every time. But then we started thinking like, but there's only like 5,000 to 10,000 people per game, and they're usually the same people. So it's not actually that many people who see this thing. So we were like, we miscalculated the audience size a bit here. So we started thinking like, okay, maybe the clubs are not the best partners.
And also because of that now then we were relying on third parties for our marketing and user acquisition. And that's not a good thing.
No. So basically we had to wait for the weekends and the games. So we were constantly just waiting for other people to do things for us. And then we noticed that the audience was quite small. So we started thinking like, okay, what the hell? We need to talk to medias. So we need to talk to papers like Marca, which is like a super big digital newspaper in Spain, like the biggest. And there is Sport and other these magazines. So we thought, because these guys have 10 million readers, and if we can get a day, and if their videos that they propose people could use the video commenting for that would be great. So, well, we decided to meet up with Marca, and we decided to meet with Atresmedia, who had the rights for Champions League. So we managed to talk ourselves into those offices because we needed bigger scale. So we got there and did our show, and the Spanish people were like, sí. So we did a pilot with Marca for the Madrid football derby, El Derby. It went fairly nice. The audience was big. And then we did for Champions League with Atresmedia as well. But since there were no money involved, again, we only did it once with both. But we understood that the media is with the big audience, not the clubs.
But again, there was a problem. They do not want to promote third-party apps.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that Marca wants to have people, when they want to promote Marca, they want people to download Marca. They want people to go to Marca website. They did not want to promote Sport. Okay, again, we were in a situation that we need to evolve. We need to change direction. Okay, maybe then we need to take this technology that we have and give it to them. Put it like kind of Intel inside. Take our technology. It takes 15 minutes for you to implement it into your apps, your web streams, your smart TV apps, and so on. So,
which means that you have to kill your own app in order to give it to them. Yeah. And that's a horrible decision to take, and that's hard because you've been working very long time with your app and your product. You think that it's going to be the biggest, and then all of a sudden you're faced in front of a decision that we had to make. Like, are we going to keep this and keep trying, or are we going to just throw it away and just say, look, we'll put it inside your apps? That's hard, but that's business development. Sometimes you have to make really, really hard decisions and kill your idols, so to speak. And we've done it a lot of times, and it's always as painful.
Then, how does thin crisp bread relate to our technology? Now, basically, the thing is here. We have a group of people, or we have identified our target group, okay, to whom we need to communicate about our product. But then also, there's different cultures, there's different people, and they react differently. They do business in different ways, and you need to sell your product, even if the same product, with different communication, with different point of view, to different markets, for example. And this is an example when I was working in the advertising agency, and I did packaging rebranding for Thin Crisp. That is thin crisp bread, and they are spreading it all over the world. And here, the interesting finding for me at that time, like 15 years ago, was like, okay, it's the same product, it's the same package in every market. But we did a study in 3 countries, in China, in Sweden, and Russia. And what we found out, that we need to communicate the same product in totally different way to different markets. In Sweden, everybody knows what this is. It's kind of basic thing that you have on your table, and there's nothing special. It's bread. You just eat it. And that's it. It has been tens of years or hundreds of years in the tables of Swedish people. Then you go to Russia. No, it's coming from Finland, the clean, respectful country of the Nordics. So it's whole grain. There's a lot of fiber. There's nothing added, no additives there. Okay, well, these people, what they admire is the fitness perspective and the healthy perspective and the cleanness of Finland through this. And then we went to China. Okay, what did the research tell us? It told us that nobody has a clue what is crisp bread. So there it was totally something new, something special, something exciting from this small country that nobody has ever heard about. So because of that, the same product, the same package that's going to all the countries, but the marketing campaigns, the advertisements run in TV were produced in totally different way from different perspectives to different markets. And this is the same thing for us. We need to take in consideration, okay, what do we have and to whom we are selling. If we are getting in connection for social media manager in ESPN, then we are selling. Hey, did you know that our technology, let's say that somebody's watching Super Bowl and there's a goal, and you make a comment like, that was a good call. You can share that to social media with the goal. So we create automatically a 10-second clip of that goal where you are yelling on top. And you can share it to social media. Okay, then we go to the business director of ESPN. That's not interesting for him. Then we show, okay, here is how you can use our programmatic ad tool to bring ads that are really targeted using our artificial intelligence and speech recognition to the people that are watching your shows or sports or whatever. So again, the same product, but totally different approach. And that's kind of important to understand that, yeah, to whom are you talking? Are you talking to a nun or a rock star? You probably are going to use different wordings on different things when you're talking to these people. Then, about relationships. And we have touched this subject a little there earlier. And there, for example, in our case, there's a lot of people we need to, or companies we need to work with. For example, the artificial intelligence. That is not our specialty. There's companies that are specialized in artificial intelligence and recognizing emotions from videos, doing voice recognition, doing this and that. So let's cooperate with these companies. Fortunately, actually, this company that is most advanced in this area in the world has the same investor as we do. So it was kind of an interest of both parties to work together. So we can use their technology
to also to bring them customers. When somebody buys our thing, they will get also business through that. Then we have data partners, for example, the sports statistics you saw there. We are not a sports statistics company, but there are companies that provide live sports statistics. So we work with them. We combine artificial intelligence with the sports statistics with our video communication. There's existing ad platforms like you saw. There are sales tools like Pipedrive. There's consultants who take care of certain markets and know the people already in there. There's test and research companies that we need to use to make sure that our product works in all the devices, because we don't want to buy 30,000 different Android devices to the office and try out our technology with all of them. But they have the potential and the technology to do that.
Little note on the relation. It's not relationship, it's relationship. So take care of the relations you have. But just as a side note, again, a little bit of story here intertwining with the hardcore business stuff. So you get a thought of good relations. We used to work with a video marketing agency called Redneck. They made a documentary about me and Alexi like 5 years ago. We were on lunch back in 2014, 15. We were on lunch with him, and he said, this was before Spain. So he said like, hey guys, did you know that there is a startup conference in Murcia in a couple of days? No, we don't. Should we go? Yeah, you should go. So okay. And this was at the time where we had set a deadline for our investors to invest, so we had no money. We had like 5,000 in the account. Then he said, the other guy said that, look, you need to meet the guy who arranged this conference and talk to him. And we said, okay, let's talk to him. And this guy is, you know, if you see Back to the Future, he's like Dr. Emmett Brown. He's just like fucking talking stuff, and you're like, what is happening? And we said like, hey, we want to go to Murcia, but we only have this amount of money, and the flights and tickets are going to cost a lot of money. So if we go there, you need to promise us that we're going to meet the head of Telefonica. We want to meet these and these people. And he said like, yeah, I'm going to make sure of it. And you know, Spanish people, there are many times they're like, yeah, it's going to be all right. And you're like, really? So I said like, look me in the eyes, shake me a hand, and say like, promise that we're going to get these meetings. And it's like, yeah. Okay, good. Then we booked the tickets, and we went there. And actually, we met with all the people they promised. And we met with the guys who we started working with 2 months later. And this was that lunch meeting with an old relation we had led us to go to Spain, and we wouldn't be here talking to you if we wouldn't have gone to Murcia that day. So like, this is the importance of relations.
And also, like we talked about in the financial part of the presentation, the legal partners. That's not probably your specialty, but you need to have good shareholders agreements. You need good contracts with the clients that you are having contracts with. There's a lot of things that you cannot even think about what they might want before you encounter this situation. Then you need to have somebody who understands your business. You have been working with them for some time, so they know what you're doing and what would be the best solution in this particular case. And of course, with the investors, like we talked about earlier, meet everyone. Like, even if you're not looking financing now, be social, connect with people, meet them in different places, and just be the good person. Like, be happy, like be willing to give to people information, like whatever, help people, because like every time at some point you see like, yeah, it made sense. I help those people without the intentional thought that, okay, I'm kind of building this social depth. But anyway, like, I'm willing to help, and like, then maybe someday, like, I will receive some help. And
I actually have an example of that too.
Go ahead.
This is interesting. We have a lot of examples. Regarding the investors and partners again. So when we had our absolutely first startup back in 2012, we were just calling like big brands and asking them for partnerships, cold calling, and we called Reebok in Finland, And there was this guy who worked there called Mika. And we said, look, we have this app. It was a totally different product back then, but it wasn't a sports app. And we said, hey, can Reebok sponsor this? You don't have to pay anything. We just want to use your kind of brand. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And we did it for the World Championships in hockey, ice hockey. And that was it. That was 2012. We didn't work with him after that at all. Then we had developed another product. And we were actually had booked a board meeting for the 10th of January that year. And we were in deep financial distress. We were basically bankrupt. So we had booked a crisis meeting with our board for 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday that day. And we were asking our board for an investor for more money to survive. Okay? And we had also contacted this Reebok guy again to try something, you know, and a proposal, like maybe he can help us or something. Then we had a board meeting at 10 o'clock, and the investors were like, guys, we're not going to invest anymore, so we're going to let you go bankrupt. So then our chairman of the board said to me and Alexi, he was like, guys, get out of this room, I'm going to talk to the investors. And then the investor decided to invest like 10,000 euros. It's like nothing. So it was like 1 month's salary for me and Alexi, or 2 months' salary or something like that. So we were like, okay, we have like 1 month after that meeting. Then we had a meeting with Reebok at 2 o'clock the same day, and we just like gave him a proposal, like maybe you can do this kind of advertising. He was like, yeah, we'll do it. It was a almost 100,000 euro deal on the same day as we were all going bankrupt. So that was kind of a weird day. So when you wake up in the morning, you're like, shit, this company is fucked. And then you go to bed, you're like, what? so we didn't go out and party or anything. We just, I remember after that meeting, we were like, what happened? And I'm tired. And then we just went home to sleep. So no parties or anything.
This was something. We did something well that worked with the company. We didn't have no kind of, okay, we are not asking you money. You gain something. You get kind of Reebok will be shown to a lot of people through this application. That was actually, that application was the first or second in the App Store in Finland during the World Championships. So they got a lot of visibility with no cost. And then after that, it was kind of, okay, now let's do this and that. So, be a good guy or a girl, it doesn't matter for me. What this all leads up to, that has been kind of, okay, this theory of everything, but in the end, what you need to have is that you need to show what is the business model and what is the business plan that kind of makes everything that, or makes the business model tick. And what I want to really kind of make clear here is that, especially for me, and I'd say to every company that is going to work or is going to grow big, is that you need to have values, and you need to follow those values. You need to have something that kind of drives you through whatever. So you have something that you can base your decisions on. Like, are we going to even ask this investor to invest in us? Because their values differ totally from ours. Or are we going to work with this broadcaster who's doing something that differs from our values? For example, in Spain, when we worked in Spain, they were like, hey, would you like to do this technology with this like bullfighting arenas like you did in football? We're like, no, thank you. That's not kind of, that doesn't follow our values. We don't like to think that you have these animals and then they are slaughtered basically there. No, thank you. I have a dog. So do something that you can really, with pure heart, be like, okay, this is something that like my conscience is clean when I'm doing this or working these people or hiring these guys or doing this kind of deals or putting my name on this kind of contract or whatever.
And this is very important for us as a company. We've been like, because since we're the founders, the values of the company is going to be basically our opinions, at least when we're small. and maybe when we're big too, I don't know. But so when you come to our office, it's I would say it's fairly relaxed and open. People can talk whatever they want and these kind of things. And we always try to kind of do that in our branding as well. So not anymore that much because the clients we work with are very, very, very big conservative media companies. So it's hard to be that kind of rock star mentality with them. But when we work with the previous companies, for example, when we launched our product and we had a lot of Finnish sports stars as investors, we didn't get any media attention. So we were like, what the hell? Like, why aren't we getting media attention since we have like Teemu Selänen and Jari Litmanen who played for FC Barcelona and won the Champions League, and like nobody cares in Finland. We were like, what is wrong with this country? And then we just like tweeted like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you write about our company? We have these investors, what the hell? And then Helsingin Sanomat contacted us and said, we're actually interested in covering you. We were like, what the hell? So we called them and said, okay, what do you want to do? She was like, oh, we want to do an interview. And we were like, okay, so when? It's like, when can you? We're 15 minutes away. We have an office in Kamppi, so we just ran down to the Sanomat. And there was this girl, and there was this guy with a camera, and immediately we were just like posing like these and these, and we're saying that we're gonna kill Facebook and like, do you have really? So we said we're gonna kill Facebook, gonna kill Instagram, and we're gonna take over the world, and we are, this. And it was the most shared article in that day in Finland, and I mean, you don't want to even read the comments. People are
there is a short demo.
Yeah, so yeah, I read the first and I was like, Jesus Christ. So let's go to Spain instead. but yeah, so that was kind of we being ourselves. And here is the article in the paper. And haters gonna hate. I mean, the comment section is crazy. They're like, who the fuck do these guys think they are? And we were just like, well, we just wanted to have some fun.
But it was a good thing. There was like almost 2,000 shares on Facebook.
Yeah.
A lot of hate, but also a lot of downvotes.
Yeah.
So got shot down.
But that was just like, we didn't plan on doing this. And actually what happened was that we went down there and we did all this posing and we also took normal photos. And then we asked, like, can you send us the article to read before you publish? You should always do that. And then they send it, but they didn't send us the photos they're going to use or the headline. So we were like, well, the article is pretty good. And then in the morning you start getting like text messages and stuff. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, look at this. I'm like, what?
I was getting notifications that you have a new follower in sport. Like, bing, 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 bing. What the fuck? Then we went, okay, maybe the article has been published. Went to see myself there, like.
So yeah. So values, they will reflect either you want it or not. So don't try to build this company that is not in sync with who you are. It sounds very deep, but it's true.
So basically, as a summary, I'd say this looks like a boring thing, but it basically is all you need when you understand what's it all about. You need to have the passion. Then you need to understand where you are playing, with whom, what, and so on. And then you just find the opportunities.
Yeah.
That is basically business development. And there is no business development, and again, there is no formula for that. You have a unique company. You are unique people. You have unique visions. You have unique history. You will also have a unique business development story that you can tell to your grandchildren or whatever is the situation. So that's it for this. Now,
like what happened there. It was this Murcia event that happened, and we ended up meeting with the Barcelona guys there and Telefonica, and we had a conference call with them, and then we flew down to Barcelona and met them a day after they won the Champions League. And what Barcelona said, of course, I mean, they said that, guys, you're too small for us, but in a nice way. They said, you know, we are the biggest club. I don't think they are. I think Realis might be bigger, but I don't know. So they said basically try it out with the smaller clubs, and then we went to Madrid for the first time ever. We never been to Madrid, and we came there and what the hell is going on? And we had agreed a meeting with the consultant in Spain. Like, we had no idea what's going to happen. We walk into this meeting, and there is the consultant, and there is this former director from Real Madrid sitting there, and we were like, oh my God, what? And we were nervous, you know, and he's like, Real Madrid guy, what the hell? And then we started to talk with them, and we started to work with these guys. Then on that same day, we went to meet with Atletico de Madrid. It was a big club, and I remember there is photos. I mean, we didn't understand how big these clubs were basically. So there's photos where we're standing in shorts and t-shirts, like with the directors of Atletico Madrid in suits, and we're like Finnish guys in shorts. And then regarding like the business development as well, then we took a train down to Malaga and hired a car and drove down to Almeria, which is a little bit smaller city in Andalusia in southern Spain. And we met with their social media guys because we wanted to start working with them, and they said that it's interesting. So what happened was that we come into the office, and we were like, okay, we're going to show you.
In the stadium.
In the stadium, yeah. It's Estadio de los Juegos Mediterráneos, right? And we come in there, and we said like, okay, we're going to show you how this works. What we didn't understand back then is that, look, the internet in Spain and the internet in Finland, there are two different things.
First of all, in the stadium there was no Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
In the office.
In the office, yeah. so we came to the office and we were like, I'm going to show you how this works. And we were like, I'm not getting any, like, what the hell? Do you have Wi-Fi? No. Like, okay, I'm starting to get like these big of a sweat rains, and Alex is panicking, I'm getting red in the face. I'm like, shit. That was our first like potential deal, because it was not Atletico or Barcelona, it was a smaller club.
Still playing in La Liga.
Yeah, they were playing La Liga back then. And we were like, shit, we had promised our investors that we were gonna sign Almeria, and we were like, yo, we're gonna do this, and we come there and we're just totally failing and everything, and we're sweating, and then this guy, Cesar, who is the social media manager, he's like, guys, you know, there's McDonald's with free Wi-Fi, you know, there. They're like, yeah, let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah, I bought like 6 nuggets and a coffee or something. Like
Connect to the internet in Almeria McDonald's, and we show him how it works, and he's like, yeah, and let's take this. And that was, we signed our first deal in Spain in McDonald's Almeria. So everything can happen when you're out. But they're horrible when they happen, but they're funny now. But back then I was not laughing.
But like for you, I'd suggest that if you have a company or you're thinking about starting a company, I would just like think about this. Like, what are you providing? What is the long-term value that you are providing? To whom are you providing it to? And which kind of partners do you need to make this happen? And then you have your product or service or whatever that you have really a passion to do. And then you will start finding the opportunities, how to do this, how to grow this, how to kind of nurture this. Because I think startup or a company as a child, you just like bring it to life. Then you feed it and you give it clothes and so on. But
and then you kill it when you don't like it.
Yeah. But it is not your decision to take, well, okay, is your child going to be gay or straight or transsexual, or is he going to like Kiss or Madonna, or is he going to work on or here or there or whatever? It's your job to nurture and to take care of that child, and then let's see kind of what happens. And if we look at our story from 2012, and there's two different companies in here. First, we started with a mobile app that was a calendar. Okay, that was the first.
When
Then,
was this?
sorry?
2012.
2012.
2012.
Yes, okay. Then we had a calendar. It didn't work. What we did, we added sports here. So you could have your favorite sports team calendars and it will notify that there's a game on TV on this channel that you might want to watch. Okay, again, it did not work because the UX was too complex or whatever it was. It just didn't work. Then we took, because still people were interested, they were kind of subscribing for the team schedules. So we took the team schedules and made more simple way of UX to show these calendars. Okay, that wasn't enough. Then we took, like, these were professional teams. Then we took junior teams. So we basically, what we did deals with all the sports associations in Finland. Football, ice hockey, like everything, all the sports. And we connected to their databases to get all the schedules and results from games from like 7-year-olds to 70-year-olds.
So a use case would be parents who had children who were playing football or basketball and stuff. So what that product was doing was that you could basically just choose, like, we had all the different leagues and junior leagues, everything here. You could just click like, okay, it's 97 born girls and football and born 03 boys football. You click twice and you automatically have all the trainings in your calendar.
And it will tell you that, okay, now you need to start going and take your boy to the pitch that is here. You can click here to get the map, then how to drive there. But
When was this then?
That was 2013, so it's
Yeah.
pretty fast.
But it was difficult to get the data.
no,
In Finland, no.
In Finland it wasn't, but the problem was when we were starting to scale, or tried to scale,
Yeah.
and went to Nordics and Baltics, and they understood the value of this data, and it was too heavy sales with not enough kind of income.
Was they charging anything for data?
No. In Finland, no. But then when we went outside Finland, yes.
For this, you just needed their consent, or
Yeah.
So
was
basically,
it tough to
Yeah.
have a consent?
no.
We had like 400,000 people. Their calendars, sports calendars, were in our database that we could give to everyone.
So the good thing with Finland was that, for example, the Hockey Association, they had all that in one place. So we just went and met with the people in Hockey Association, and we just like, and they were like, yeah, you can get access. And then we said, okay, really? Yeah, okay, good. And then we took that, then we went to the floorball, we went to all these associations. And everybody had the data. Great, it wasn't that hard. But then we went to Sweden, where, for example, in hockey, there was no central organization who had all the data. It was like 26 different across Sweden, and you're like, oh, Jesus, do I have to go and ask 26 different organizations for the same stuff? So immediately we noticed that, okay, this is going to be too hard. It's going to be too much work for so little users.
And also it was like, you needed this as a parent maybe once or twice a week, and that's it. So it's not going to scale, it's not going to work. What do we need to do? We need to have some kind of social aspect in here.
We make people use it more often.
Yeah.
We noticed that, as Alex said, they only open it on Mondays, for example, to see, okay, when is my practice for this week? And then you remember it. So we were like, oh shit, we need to get them to open it more often so we can show them more ads or something like that. And then was like, well, how do we make it open more frequently? What if we add like social things, like likes or something like that?
Yeah. Then
In 2014?
yeah, but then we understood or remembered what happened here. The UX was too complex, and we were like, okay, now we are adding things. Is this a calendar? Is this a social platform? What is this? We don't even understand it ourselves. How can we expect somebody else to understand what is it? So then, here,
We killed it.
we killed it. It's like, okay, it's dead. And then Sportacam was born.
It was a social.
Yeah, it was a social media for sports fans, where the only way to communicate is not to write, but to send short videos. Okay,
They went to Spain.
then we went to Spain. Great. Good things happened. We got the deals with 16 clubs. We worked with the biggest medias and TV stations. and so on. But then was the problem, okay, this is not the right approach. They don't want to promote our app, and
Stadiums were too small.
yeah, there was too much, again, too complex and too much this and that.
But that took over 2 years.
And what was the platform there? Was it Android or
I was on iOS, Android, and
iOS?
yeah.
Yeah, and also Windows Phone at that point. Yeah.
But not anymore.
No. But then what happened was that we understood that medias don't want to promote third-party apps, they don't want to promote Sportacam, but the technology is really cool and people like to use it.
Yeah.
So what we did is that we took the technology and made Cament. So now we give this technology, it's not our app, it's just a piece of technology that goes to the broadcasters' TV applications or mobile applications or web pages or whatever.
So in the end, like you can track back everything to 2012.
Yeah, this has been our business development path. And everything, so we have built everything on top of what we have already learned.
Then we killed it, done it again, killed it, continuing. So there is actually a trace you can follow to get to where we are today, which might not be that logical, but it's there. So it's still an unbroken chain.
You target sports.
No.
No, not anymore.
It's not now B2C, it's just.
Yeah. So the paying customer is the media. So so it's B2B, but the end user is the consumer. So we don't sell immediately to consumers, but it is in our interests that the product is good enough for the consumer, so that they use it, so that the TV pays us. So maybe we'll be here in 2 years and tell you about an electric car we made, because people like to watch streams in cars, or you never know. So
What is the net worth of your child? I mean, Cament.
1 billion, 100 billion. No, we don't know. Like this is. You said net worth or net worth?
Net worth now.
Valuation.
Yes.
Well, that's up to the investors to decide.
And it's also, there's a lot of things that depend on that. For example, we have patent pending. Well, okay, maybe in half a year we have a patent. Maybe then valuation is different. Now there's like on 5 tables of big operators or broadcasters, there's contracts waiting to be signed. Their lawyers are checking them out and we're negotiating on some details on there.
I'm flying on Saturday to Singapore and Malaysia to sign a deal with the biggest media.
Yeah. So before there's a signature, the valuation is different. When we have 1, 2, 10, 100, it's different. Then when they start using our programmatic ad platform, when they start using our music bots, our technology in a larger scale, where we take slice out of every transaction or ad shown or video played, then again it's different.
So how are you now earning money there? Are you licensing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we do is basically we meet with the operators. Yeah, it's really easy. You just go and meet them. No, it's really hard. So what you need to do is like we have the sales guys in Sitges and Madrid and we're in Singapore. And what they do is they are people who, some of them have already contacts ready. Like the guy in Singapore used to work for Nokia and Samsung, so he knows all these operators. And so he's working for us now, and he's basically just calling his old friends to say, look, you gotta meet these guys. Then we fly there and we say, ta-da!
Basically,
and then we give them a contract and we say, look, if you want to have this, you gotta pay X tens of thousands per year to get it. Here is the deal.
And that's the Trojan horse to get in there. Yeah. Then the volume comes from the additional things, for example, how we use the data from people that we collect through the artificial intelligence and link it to the existing ad networks like Facebook, Google, and Amazon, and bring there like really, really targeted advertising, or how we give people access to sports statistics by just like asking for statistics for a player, and then we add a possibility to buy the shirt of this player or bet on this player or this game or sell tickets to this game and so on. So that's kind of where the volume comes from. This monthly license fee for a year is just like Trojan horse to get our technology in there, because when it's in there, the upcoming competitors can kind of
So if you're a big company, as all the media companies are, like for example, some of them we are negotiating with in Mexico and Latin America, they have like more users on their platform than there are people living in the whole of the Nordics. So that's kind of also one thing to understand. What we understood when we stayed in Finland for the first 3 years until in 2015 we went to a new market where we understood one pretty crucial thing of business. It's harder to meet people in bigger markets. You don't get, in here you can just call someone and say like, hey, do you want to meet? And they usually like, yeah, it's me. But when you're in Spain or a big market with more than 20, 30, 40 million people, you ain't gonna meet that director if someone doesn't fix it for you. So you can't just send cold emails usually. So what we understood was that when you get inside that room in a new market, the amount of work you have to do is exactly the same in a big market as in a small market. But the results and the money that is moving is like 100 times more. So after that kind of venture in Spain, we understood that for us, there is no reason whatsoever to work in Finland, unless it's just some testing. Because it's a shitty market, it's 5 million people. There's more people living in, like Shanghai is 6 times more in a city than the whole of Finland. So you get kind of bitch slapped by reality, like Jesus, Finland is not the center of the planet. Finland is in the periphery.
But the good thing about Finland is that what we're doing here now is that hopefully we get a deal with Yle, the governmental TV institution, next week, because they are not. Don't need to pay them to watch their content. So they probably are not willing to pay to us because we cannot show ads or do these things. And we're not interested in that. But for us, the best test case would be with them. Okay, let's partner up. We give you technology. You pay like €1 a month or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is that we get access to real people who are watching real content. And this content, governed by law, needs to be from here to there. You need to have all kind of content. So you have all kind of people watching, so we can test our technology in really the scenarios and situation we want.
And instead of sitting in a 12-hour flight to Singapore, which I'm going to do on Saturday again for the 3rd time in a short time, we can take a taxi or a tram to Pasila, like 20 minutes, and get the audience. So for testing, Finland is great. But when you wanna work and actually show some potential, the big markets are, because the work is the same. It's the same stuff with lawyers when they comment on the agreements. They do it here, they do it there. But then when the end result is much bigger, and the investors, especially when you come home and you say, look, we have a deal with this thing in Mexico or something, they're gonna be like, okay, what the hell? You can actually go to another market. They like that. When you do it in Finland, a lot of investors are telling you like, why are you doing this here? Doing something in Finland doesn't prove anything of your business. So a lot of investors that think big is going to, even if you succeed in Finland, they're going to still think that, well, you haven't proved anything unless you went to the market.
How are you contacting?
Why Spain? Why did you decide?
It was the lunch meeting with the guy.
Yeah.
So it's random, but random generated by nice people. So of course there's always an element of luck, but as everybody says as a cliche, you make your own luck, So it's a chance.
How do you find Mexico?
Through the Spanish sales guy.
Yeah.
So because he has been working with Mexican companies, he knew that, okay, there's no way that if you want to go to the US market that you just go there. they want to see proven results from somewhere else, and Europe is not enough.
Yeah.
The best way is to do something in Mexico, but that's kind of a backdoor to the States.
There's no wall, so you can just walk.
Under the wall.
Yeah. So that's why he knew already kind of, well, he also is like, there in Latin America, he's in Spain, they have same kind of way of communication and the same language, so it was kind of, okay, let's try it out. And we tried it out, and there was a lot of pull from there, because they are emerging markets, so they have all of the interest to try out new things, new technologies and so on. They have big enough market to really do big things if things work, and if they don't work, it doesn't really matter. Like, still we're trying out and innovating with new things, and that's kind of the point.
We were actually in the States in Q2 this year 3 times in New York for several weeks, meeting with a lot of medias and sports. But you know, working with Americans is complicated.
Yeah, also I go back to the values, because like I said, 100% almost of the people we met there, I totally felt that, okay, we do not align with values.
We don't think. We come like, you know, here it's you shake hands, you trust, it's all these things which in America not always you feel, and it's a lot. I'm generalizing a lot here, but still, what you feel in business is a lot of like, nice to meet you. I'll look at this. I'll send it to my team. We'll look at it. It's a great product, man. Then nothing happens. So it's like you get into this false kind of reality that you think that they are actually interested in your stuff, and they are not. No, they're just being nice to you, but they're actually not being nice. They're being mean because they're making you think that it's not gonna happen. So we were there 3 times, and every time was the same. We had very nice meetings, but then when we sent the follow-ups to the mails and stuff and started to communicate, dead. They don't reply, and it's like nothing.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, we just wasted a lot of money on flying there, and you know, New York is expensive, but it's nice. So it was a nice holiday.
In Latin America, in Asia, things just seem to be more fit for us. The people are telling what they think, and they are doing things if they feel that they should do things. They are not they are talking the talk and walking the walk. They're basically kind of like I
Might be
say,
slow.
Yeah.
How's in China?
Well, that's not.
Difficult.
No,
We don't want to go there
We
yet.
don't want to go there. No, not yet.
It's a big man.
Yeah, but you know, like
But they meant
everyone you talk
They will
to,
tell.
everybody's warning about China, so we're kind of staying a bit cautious.
What about protecting?
Yeah, IP. Yeah.
Protecting your technology.
We patent and we try to own everything we do. So we are constantly, when we have, that's a good point actually. So in a digital market, there are a couple of things worth mentioning here is that products are super easy to copy. Like anyone can probably do what you do. So what you can do, what we have done with the Canon stuff, is that we patented it, or we're trying to patent it. So the application is in and it's pending. And once we come up with a new tech, we patent it. But in the end, it's a mean world. And your patents are only worth how much you have in your pocket to spend on lawyers. And the companies know that. So if they feel like crushing you, they're going to say, we're going to use this, and what you going to do? And you're like, I don't have money for lawyers. And they're like, oh, really? Bye-bye.
One thing here is that the faster you run, the harder it is to copy your thing. So for example, our technology, basically, yeah, it could be copied, but how much time would it take? And also, what are the things that these people do not know that we are doing? And what are kind of, even if somebody would know everything or would copy everything that they see from our videos in our webpage, for example, it would take a lot of time, but they don't know about the user experience. How are people behaving in this kind of environment? We did with Sportacam, there's like I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of video comments made. And so we have been a part of them a lot, so we know what people are discussing through videos, how they are behaving, what are kind of the ways that you do these things. So there's a lot of information that cannot be acquired by looking at the video.
I mean, like when you are integrating your maybe API, I don't know, inside the system of somebody, you have the possibility to watch it and maybe
Now we have an agreement.
Also, from a technological point, it's closed. The technology that we put in.
But now you're being technical.
Yeah, but it's not open code. They cannot copy that. And the thing, even if they could break open the SDK that is in there, that's not the thing. The connection, the back end that does all the work and does all the intelligence, that's the thing. But you cannot access through that even if you break down or break up the SDK. So there's no possibility for that.
Yeah, and we don't send, of course, no, we don't send anything to the companies before they sign. So yeah, so we ask them to sign a contract, and then they get the information and the SDK. So we're not handing out anything. But as I said, I mean, in the end, if somebody wants to steal and copy it, they're gonna do it. And then what you can do is just run fast as hell.
Yeah, and then the thing is that does it make sense to this company to try to copy this at this point of time, or does it make more sense to buy this company and buy the technology, the IPR, and the knowledge that is in the heads and papers of the owners of the company?
So do you have some useful links that you can give us? Some links, helpful links.
For what?
For what? Yeah.
Stand up.
Wow, that's a wide thing.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. There's probably Google. We can't come here often and do this again.
I would just read TechCrunch. I would read Wired. I would subscribe email letters from certain companies. Would Google something, you probably find people who are entrepreneurs who have probably sold their companies and they're sharing the information on what they have done. Growthhackers.com.
Yeah, that's good.
Growthhackers.com. That is good thing. Just there you find a lot of information about startups, about like
how to grow as a company.
How to grow, and then there's people writing there also who have done this, so they know what they're talking about.
When you were there, when you closed the company of the sports thing, you closed it or you sold it, or
no? We just put it away. Just put it away. We need to focus on the new stuff. So we just.
You didn't think of
I cried at it. I cried at
it. So you don't have a contract
with
the La Liga clubs now?
No, we stopped working with them. But yeah, we worked with. They were nice, but they weren't. I think it was mutual. They didn't in the end then see the upside, and we didn't get the users. That's really it. But I have to say, when people say that Spain is, they're slow and lazy and blah blah blah, that's not what I feel. Maybe it's a cultural thing from when you come from Finland. That's what we were told, that coming from Finland with technology, they're a lot more receptive. But we felt like within the first 6 months of actually like landing for the first time in Madrid, we're working with like 16 teams. So it's like it was really, really fast. So they didn't do the mañana stuff. They were saying ahora.
Which were the 4 other clubs you're not working with? No,
we are not working with none of the clubs anymore. We need them when we go to Madrid.
And you said 16, so out of 20 in the.
No, we work with basketball, baloncesto. So in Segunda we had Alcorcón, Alavés, Almería, Leganés, but now Leganés is in Primera. Then we had Málaga, Villarreal in La Liga, and then in basketball we had Laboral Cucha and Estudiante, Sukamus, yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
what type of suggestion you would give, suppose if I'm building a company and I know that for first 6 months it will not generate revenue. What,
That's fine.
should I kill it or?
No, that's revenue is not the thing. Like, hey, Instagram was sold for 1 billion, and this was the revenue they were making.
That's
So
why
it's
I asked this question.
it's not
Why
about the
didn't you sold
revenue.
it?
Why would have we? Like we tried, we like, but there was too much work in selling something to somebody that doesn't work. So it's kind of okay. Here's my shit from the morning. I'm trying to sell this to somebody. I'm hoping that somebody will find value on my shit.
No, authentica mierda.
Yeah, authentica mierda.
This was not working at all, right?
Sorry?
This was not working at all. That's
No,
why you
no,
killed it.
that was, and also it's about values. Like, okay, do we want to trick somebody to buy something that we feel does not work?
Yeah. But what company were you referring to? The sports stuff? Or
No.
okay. Oh, yeah. So, no. It was in the store still, and we kept it in the store. It was really one of the most high-rated apps that was. But you know, the time and effort to put in and trying to even sell it, and usually, actually, the thing that needs to be remembered is that usually when you sell your company, the acquiring company wants to keep you. So so you have a lockup, so you have to work for that company to ensure that they have.
Yeah, and we had something new that we felt that is working.
But
where we
you
wanted
just
to go
saw
there.
the product. You just get the product away, not the company.
Yeah, but they want you as part of the deal always.
Were you working at that time, or how you finance yourself? Or
Investors' money.
Since the first time that we.
And, I mean, we have been living on investors' money basically all the time.
So
Flying
that
with
app
private
that
jet.
Every day. Sorry.
your very first app, it was invested.
Yes.
And our own money. So like all the money we have made in our previous careers, they're gone. So we kind of lost everything we also had. And passion.
Did you raise money for the first?
Startup, yes, yes. Friends and family.
How much? And
the first round in the first startup, I think, was 30,000.
and you lose.
That money was lost,
Okay.
but they are still owners in the new company.
Because there was IPR that was created in this company. So basically what we did, what we told the investors, hey, okay, this money is now gone, but then we did some arrangement that...
Well, actually, yeah, it's legal stuff. So I'll come back to you. So I'm just going to say this. So the shareholders agreement that you have, usually they state that all the IPR, intellectual property, all the ideas you come up with, is the property of the company. So it's not your stuff. So when you open your mouth in your company, the company owns that information.
It's good to know.
Yeah, it's very good to know. So what happened was that since basically our investors could say, like, if we were starting a new company, they could come back and say, hey guys, you know that this idea is kind of born with our money from this shareholders agreement, so you can't do that. So instead of ending up in a situation where we had to kind of trick our investors, we don't want to do that. So what we said, like, okay, we have a new idea in a new company, and it was born with your money. So you don't have to do an investment, but you can have some shares in this new company too for free. So that's how we solved it.
Not the same amount.
No, but they got a little bit of a stake.
Because
So
the thing is that if we would have said you have the same amount from the new company, then there's no incentive for us. Like, okay, now we have the first investment in this company, and now we have 1% both. Like, okay, doesn't make any
So
sense.
they got a share. So it's good to remember when you come up with ideas. So that the investors who are smart, they will tell you, you can't do that, and some of them will fail. But that's good to remember. Yeah. And
Yeah, about your ad tech. So you mentioned you have artificial intelligence involved. So if I understand right, you kind of listen what people is saying so that you can target them based on that.
Yeah.
How does it go with the privacy? Because that's where is your disclaimer, or how do they know? Or
That,
even Facebook and Google have
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. So we're not doing that actually in a foreseeable future. That is something that is in a later phase, and that is going to be done in a smart way. So how it's going to be done is, for example, we're going to start adding these kind of Siri-like voice commands and stuff. So it's going to be kind of
we give
guide
you something.
guide
We give you
the way.
something, but we need to listen to you to give you something. For example, your facial expression. You are watching a game. Let's say you are watching Ronaldo play. Okay, then Coca-Cola tells you to you in New York, hey, do you want to talk with your friends like you're doing, but look like Ronaldo? Okay, yes. Then you can start like talking with your friends. We do live face swap with Ronaldo. And then, of course, to do that, we need to look at your face and analyze it. So that's kind of the way we want to, again, we give you something that you find valuable. And at the same time ask, okay, now for us to be able to give this to you, we would need to do this. Is it okay? So we want, like our values, for example, transparency. So we want to be really transparent on these things, and we want to respect people's privacy. So if they do not want us to listen or look at them, that's fine. We are not going to do this. But then it's our mission to make the product so interesting, so fun, so social, so whatever, that they want to give that to us. So we are not trying to sneak it out there.
We hate it ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced that Facebook is listening to me, even if it's closed. I'm not fairly sure of that. Because sometimes when I drink, I do that sometimes, and then I snore. And it's funny that the days when I am out drinking, the next day I have anti-snoring ads in my Instagram. So it's like, really? So yeah, but the other thing is that we're actually anonymizing the data, so we're not connecting it to people. So what we're doing is that we're giving you an ID, basically, and that ID is then created as a profile, so we don't know it's you actually.
And so we don't need to have its end-to-end encryption, so we don't need to kind of know all the details. We just need to know enough to target you, to give you something that is relevant to you in relation, in the context.
So you're Mr. X, or and then that Mr. X is something who we don't know who it is, but that has some certain interest. So like with that, as Alex said, values are super important. I'm really uncomfortable myself with all the information that's going on. So we want to be very transparent with those things.
But the person needs to sign in, right?
Yeah.
So basically, but how it goes is that if you're watching, for example, again, ESPN, you have ESPN app that you have used and you are using, and you are paying to ESPN. So you have to log into ESPN. Our technology is there. If you want to start using our technology, then you allow or accept Facebook information to be transferred with us. And that's kind of the way. Then we have a broadcaster independent platform to connect to friends, not depending on what they are watching or where. Are they using ESPN in the States? Are they using Movistar in Spain or whatever? They can still use our technology and to talk with each other.
Actually, I remember that we didn't answer your question about if you're not revenue generating in 6 months, you should quit. Like, no, you shouldn't, unless the idea is shit, But so it's valuation is, I don't know, are you finance background or something? No. So all the valuation of companies is basically based on future estimates. Like for example, this house, this real estate, isn't worth anything in itself. It's the future cash flows of these tenants here that generate the value of it. It's the same thing with your company. If you have $1 million in your account and you don't have any business, then your company is that 1 million. But then you have business in the future, that's gonna generate the value now. It's NPV, it's like, so basically, you might sit with a huge potential after 6 months, but you have no money at the moment. And your company can be worth a lot of money at that moment anyway. So this is kind of the digital economy problem as well, which people don't like. It's that they overestimate the value of companies a lot. But yeah, so keep pushing.
No, so because you show the journey in a way, like I'm getting scared that one idea came into my mind, I'm implementing it. What happens after 1 year? Like I feel like, okay, this doesn't work, I have to close it. Then what I will do next?
You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow or in 3 months.
Yeah. So that's
It's nice. It's nice. You know, we come both from. I come from an even more conservative kind of business environment as Alexi does. Marketing is still kind of, you know, hipster people with glasses and polo shirts and beards and drinking organic coffee and shit. And I come from like this, oh, we're gonna find this deal here, sir, you know. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say here, but what was I talking about? I don't know. No, so basically, what happens is that you create an extreme tolerance for insecurity during startup life. So you become basically almost like tolerant to anything. So, like for example, this year we were running out of money. We put our own kind of loans for the company. We didn't pay salaries to coders for 4 months, and they accepted to stay still, and then we paid them retroactively when we closed. And we were in like a horrible situation, like financially. We were like 1 day from basically going bankrupt. Every morning you wake up, you're like, would that happen 10 years ago? I would have cried like a baby and been panicking. And I was like, we're going to solve this. And we did. And the funny thing is how this round went down was basically that we were at the end of our runway. We had no money. We were just like, we had a deal with a big Finnish teleoperator that was going to happen. And actually the story is quite horrible.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, I'm going to tell this story. So we won a hackathon for a big Finnish company, and they said, we'll implement your technology to our platform. I said, great, awesome, let's sign the deal. Here is the proposal. It's going to take time, they say. Okay? Then we go to our investors and we go to the Finnish Tekes, who provides financing as well. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna support your project. I'm like, great. So now we just need to get this running. So this teleoperator is just like, next week. And we're like, fucking running out of money. We're just waiting. So please give us an answer. And this was like in January this happened. So in mid-April, this teleoperator is saying, no deal. We were like, really?
Yeah. Well, we don't have the resources now.
They're like, what the fuck? This was a €100,000 deal. And what happens at the same time is that our investors and Tekes says, oh, you didn't get the deal? We're out. They're like, oh shit. What's gonna happen now? So we have no money. We call the bank and we say like, hey, can you give us 20,000 euros? We need just some money to cover the basic expenses and stuff. And this was in May this year, less than a half years ago. We were in this fucking situation. And the bank says, okay, we can give you that. And then we go to the startup conference. We book some meetings with some investors. We meet with a guy called Shilian. He's, I think he's Chinese. And we show him the tech. He's like, this is really interesting. Like, okay, what happens now? We'll contact you. Okay, fine. We go back to the office, and then they contact us, say like, hey, you should meet this guy. He's a managing partner in for this guy. We're like, okay, come to the office. He comes to the office. We show him the pitch, and technology breakdown, and it doesn't work, and Alexi can't connect to the internet and everything, and we're like, and then when he leaves, I tell Alex like, this didn't go well. So that was our last chance, like what the fuck? And then we was like, well, we have nothing to lose. So let's send him a proposal just for the sake of, we have no other leads anyway. So we send this guy a lead, like, what if you invest like $500,000? And then we just, wait. After 20 minutes, he replies, sure, get your lawyers to sign the paperwork. And that was Garioma's time, that guy. So that's one nice Friday again. So we've been doing this very close now. So we just kind of recovered from this horrible madness. So never give up. I think that was it.
Yeah. We're running out of time. 4 hours is not enough.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Oh, thank
Again,
you.
I think you're
Paras on
gonna be.
meidät siihen nauhoon.
here a couple more minutes if you have any questions. So again, thank you so much for coming. And please fill out the feedback form, because this is your way of giving back for free workshops. Thank you so much. You have a couple of minutes. And I would like to remind you that we still have 2 more weeks of School of Startups. We have the technology track and the business track, the design track next week. So check out the program online and sign up if you're interested in any courses. Yeah, you can just pass them on.
And if you'd like,
If you want to contact us,
I'm not
talk
sure. I guess
more,
to make
if you have
it
ideas. We also like to spar with people. As I said, we always meet with anyone who wants to talk more. We can do it privately. So if you want to have a coffee or talk,
that
just,
mail, when something there, it goes to both of us.
yeah.
Okay.
Anybody or just investors?
No, anyone. Anyone. Yeah, anyone. And we're sitting in Kamppi, so we're in the city center. So
And we are eating every day.
yes.
So there's always time.
You
for
can sit next to us. And paying the bills.
Thank you.
But this was it filming? Oh, horrible.
This is for business development.